Jeg sitter her med Phil og Dan, som begge har sesongkort på Anfield og ser hver kamp fra tribunen. What are your thoughts on the season so far?
Mixed, really. I think we, compared to last season, it's a bit of a disappointment, maybe, in a way that expectations were high, that coming off finishing second, we haven't done quite as well. But then on the other hand, it's pretty much a brand new team. There's sort of 6 new faces in the squad. You know, you've got to give them time to bed in. So perhaps, you know, it's, you know, yeah, that's one of the reasons why we haven't been as good as we were last season. Yeah, maybe. So it's probably my main point.
And obviously the expectations are higher because we finished second last year, so it has been disappointing, but we're still there or thereabouts. You know, quarter final of the League Cup. Not a particularly great league position, but it's still really tight because it's so early on in the season. You know, it's you know, between kind of, what is it, 3-4 points behind 4th place. So you know, at this stage there's still a lot to play for.
Definitely.
And then when you miss the likes of the person we mentioned, Suarez, you know, it's you know, that's a massive loss. And then Sturridge has been out for the vast majority of the season, so you know, we're struggling on that point. But you know, when he's back, hopefully it's going to be a different story.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
What has the atmosphere been like at Anfield this season?
It's obviously not been as buoyant as last year, because last year was something special. You know, going so close. It is a bit quieter.
Yeah.
And I think the Real Madrid game kind of summed it up. It started off really lively, really loud. But once they'd gone kind of 1-0, 2-0 and 3-0, it kind of died really.
Yeah,
but,
it was kind of...
but then towards the end, you know, they appreciate that, you know, the fans appreciate that the team's working hard, even though they're not playing well. They were working hard that day. They were getting rings run around them really.
And
they appreciated that. But you know, you see the away fans from last night's match in Madrid, you know, and the way they respond to the team, you know, it's brilliant. So it has slightly changed from last year, but that's what happens when football's quite fickle, isn't it? You know.
Well, everyone's on your side when you're winning, and then as soon as you start having a run of bad results, everyone turns against you, don't they? Yeah.
But you know, for the big games, it's still there. It's still Anfield.
So what do you think Rodgers is doing right, and what is he doing wrong, if there is anything?
I think the right things is sticking to his philosophy. He's obviously got an idea that he wants to get across, and we can all see the evidence of that from last season. It worked. You know, we were banging in 4, 5, 6 goals past some teams. So I think that's definitely something he's doing right. He's looking towards the youth with the likes of Sterling and the players he's bringing in as well, which is good, you know, building for the future. Things he's doing wrong,
I don't especially think it's what he's doing wrong. It's just that, you know, there's a lot of new players, and it will take time to bed in. And obviously we haven't always got our #1 targets, and he's had to go for slightly younger, more inexperienced players who take a bit more time to settle in. You know, no one's going to be a world beater overnight.
No.
So you look at the like. It would have been great to have Sanchez, who signed for Arsenal, but there was no chance of him coming to Liverpool. So, you know, and that he would have been perfect, ready-made, experienced player to straight into the side. But
very
you know,
similar.
we've had to shop a little bit differently and go for less experienced players who are going to take a bit more time to bed in.
So what can be done to improve the team's performance going forward?
Well, I think last night against Madrid, I thought it was really encouraging to see some positive. You know, there was a lot more energy to the side than there had been earlier on, because we've had some pretty dour performances of late with QPR, and it was really poor.
We've just lacked that intensity, haven't we, that we had last season? We're attacking from the defending from the front. We just haven't had that. But last night's Barini worked his socks off, didn't he? And
it was a different type of energy, and there was some really good performances of players who weren't necessarily in the side very often. And I thought Lucas was terrific last night.
Was cracking too.
You know, players you don't expect them to start, or you know, and they've featured very rarely from the bench either. But you know, I think he's you know, we've just got to persevere a little bit.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, look at not last season before, we were in the same boat. We were rubbish up until Christmas, and then something, whatever, clicked, and then we went on that amazing run.
And as you say before, you know, persevering with his style and his philosophy. You know, he wants to play the ball, he wants to counter attack, he wants to do it quickly. Yeah. And not all players get that straight away. You know, in his first season, it took you know, the first half of the season to actually get the players where he wanted them, and then the results improved.
So was that run we went on after Christmas, wasn't there? Just what was it, like 12 games or something? Amazing.
So we signed a lot of new players over the summer. How do you feel like those new signings have adapted into the club?
I think a couple of them perhaps have struggled because they've had their injuries early on, like Emre Can and Lallana got injured as well. So they probably haven't had as much game time and as much, you know, time to settle in as they wanted straight away. Markovic has kind of disappointed me.
Although I thought he was improved last night.
Yeah. I think a lot of expectation comes with the price tag now, though, doesn't it? But I think kind of that's the going rate for players nowadays, whereas people might still think, oh, you know, 20 million's a load. You know, when you're selling players for 75 and 80, it's kind of, you know. So I think the new players, I've been impressed from what I've seen from Emre Can. Looks like a big, strong, powerful centre.
He's a prospect, isn't he?
Yeah.
I like Moreno as well, the left back. There's been a couple of individual mistakes where, you know, it has cost goals, but I think he looks like a cracking little player, you know, going forward, and you know, and he doesn't mind the tackle either.
No.
And I like Lallana as a player. You know, he hasn't shone quite yet, but
he's a good utility player, isn't he? He can play in sort of 3 or 4 different positions.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant on the ball. You know, his touch is brilliant. You know, and I'd say, in a way that Coutinho, you know, he's the type of player you want on the ball. Cause he's so, you know, his balance is great, touch is great,
both feet.
Really clever player.
But you're not mentioning Balotelli. Thoughts?
Well, I think he's a strange one, really, because everyone says that he doesn't try, and sometimes when you see him at the game and he doesn't look as though he does, but you know, this is a guy who's won, you know, the Premier League with Man City, he's won Serie A with Inter, so there's got to be something about him, and he's played his part in both those teams, and I think his body language sometimes comes across as he doesn't care, but when they were winning, when he was playing in teams that were winning, his body language always said the same, but it's emphasised more because you know, because performances aren't quite up to the standard.
And I think the media just because he comes with a reputation, don't they? They just hammer him for it, hammer him and chip away at him. Which, you know, it's obviously from some of the stuff he's done in the past, you know, he's going to get that. But I don't think Liverpool would have gone for him if they didn't think it was going to work out, kind of thing. And again, it's coming back to Rodgers' philosophy. You know, Balotelli's never played in a team that plays this style. You know, Rodgers obviously thinks he can lead his attack, and hopefully, you know, with a bit of hard work and perseverance, it'll come off for him.
But I think he's not someone to lead the line.
No.
You know, he's that kind of, he is that secondary striker.
Yeah, I'd like to see him.
So when Sturridge comes back, I'm hopeful. There's some good signs when we played against Tottenham that they could work together.
Yeah. I'd like to see them try the diamond again, perhaps with Balotelli and Sturridge up front.
Yeah, because I think he naturally drops off rather than playing right on the shoulder like Sturridge does. So, you know, if he's your only guy up front, and you want him to lead the line and he keeps dropping back, then it means that you've got no one right up top, and that's where we struggled. And he's not the most mobile in the world, you know, he's not making these fantastic runs that you get from the likes of Suarez and Sturridge, but hopefully he can bring something else to the team. But it's difficult for a new player to come into a team with massive expectation and then just fit in straight away when the team isn't performing, you know, to kind of the levels that we've seen over the last kind of 18 months. Yeah,
because especially a team like Liverpool, because it's such a different vibe to Man City, isn't it? It's, you know, like the whole club, the ethos and everything. It's like, you know, I suppose it's more traditional. Is what I'm trying to say about Liverpool City.